Odyssey I continued. Lines 227 to 348. The suitors are wild, feasting with song. Telemachus and Athena speak together. Athena tells Telemachus that he first met Odysseus before the Trojan War. Telemachus laments that his father is likely dead somewhere, and that these losers are eating him out of house and home. Odyssey continued. Then rushed in the rude wooers, themselves placed, the heralds water gave, the maids in haste served bread from baskets. When of all prepared and set before them, the bold wooers shared, their pages plying their cups past the rest. But lusty wooers must do more than feast, for now their hungers and their thirsts allayed, they called for songs and dances. Those, they said, were the ornaments of feast. The heralds straight a harp, carved full of artificial sleight, thrust into Phemius's, a learned singer's hand, who, till he much was urged, on terms did stand, but after played and sung with all his art. Telemachus to Pallas then, apart, his ear inclining close, that none might hear, in this sort said, My guest, exceeding dear, will you not sit incensed with what I say? These are the cares that these men take, feast and play, which easily they may use because they eat free and unpunished of another's meat, and of a man's whose white bones wasting lie in some far region, with the incessancy of showers poured down upon them, lying ashore, or in the seas washed naked, who, if he wore those bones with flesh and life and industry, and these might hear in Ithaca set eye on him returned, they all would wish to be either past other in celerity of feet and knees, and not content to exceed in golden garments. But his virtues feed the fate of ill death, nor is left to me the least hope of his life's recovery. No, not in any of the mortal race should tell me of his return. The cheerful face of his return day never will appear. But tell me, and let truth your witness bear, who, from whence you are, what city's birth, what parents, in what vessel set you forth, and with what mariners arrived you here? I cannot think you a foot passenger. Recount then to me all, to teach me well, fit usage for your worth. And if it fell in chance now first that you thus see us here, or that in former passages you were my father's guest, for many men have been guests to my father, studious of men his sociable nature ever was. On him again the grey-eyed maid did pass this kind reply, I'll answer passing true all thou hast asked. My birth his honour drew from wise Anchialus. The name I bear is Mentes, the commanding islander of all the Taphians, studious in the art of navigation, having touched this part with ship and men, of purpose to maintain course through the dark seas to other languaged men. And Tmesis sustains the city's name from which my ship is bound, made known by fame for rich in brass, which my occasions need, and therefore bring I shining steel instead, which their use wants, yet makes my vessel's freight, that near a ploughed field rides at anchor's weight apart this city, in the harbour called Rhaphreus, whose waves with Neus's wood are walled. Thy sire and I were ever mutual guests, at either's house still interchanging feasts. I glory in it. Ask, when thou shalt see Laertes, the old hero, these of me. From the beginning he, men say, no more visits the city, but will needs deplore his son's believed loss in a private field. One old maid only at his hands to yield food to his life, as oft as labor makes his old limbs faint, which though he creeps, he takes along a fruitful plain, set all with vines, which husbandman like, though a king he proins. But now I come to be thy father's guest. I hear he wanders while these wooers feast. And, as the immortals prompt me at this hour, I'll tell thee, out of a prophetic power, not as professed a prophet, nor clear seen at all times what shall after chance to men, what I can see, for this time will be true. The gods' inflictions keep your sire from you, divine Ulysses. It abides not dead above earth, nor beneath, nor buried in any seas, as you did late conceive, but with the broad sea sieged, is kept alive within an isle by rude and upland men, that in his spite his passage home detain. Yet long it shall not be before he tread his country's dear earth, though solicited, and held from his return with iron chains, for he hath wit to forge a world of trains, and will of all be sure to make a good one for his return, so much relied upon. But tell me, and be true, art thou indeed so much a son, as to be said the seed of Ithacus himself, exceeding much thy forehead, and fair eyes at his form touch? For oftentimes we meet, as you and I meet at this hour, before he did apply his powers for Troy, when other Grecian states and hollow ships were his associates. But since that time mine eyes could never see renowned Ulysses, nor met his with me. The wise Telemachus again replied, You shall with all I know be satisfied. My mother certain says I am his son, I know not, nor was ever simply known by any child the sure truth of his sire. But would my veins had took in living fire from some men happy rather than one wise, whom age might see seized of what youth may prize. But he, whoever of the mortal race is most unblessed, he holds my father's place. This, since you ask, I answer. She again, The gods sure did not make the future strain both of thy race and days obscure to thee, since thou wert born so of Penelope. The style may by thy after acts be won of so great sire, the high, undoubted son.